Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share an album from my website. This is Everyday Life Scrapbook number 5. This is a family photo shoot. My daughter-in-law arranges these every once in a while because she knows how much I love to scrapbook my grandchildren and her family. So I get them as gifts, and I absolutely love all these wonderful photos. So I had a lot of fun scrapbooking this. But what I have to tell you is this album on my website, it's meandmycricut.com. There's a link below. But there's only 100 albums shown on the landing page. So you do have to click on the category bar right along the top of the website on Everyday Life. If you click on that category, then all of the Everyday Life albums will show up. Like 5 of them have dropped off. And this is one that isn't showing on the landing page only. It is in there though. Okay, so let's begin. This photo shoot was took place at a barn and outdoors for some of it. So these are all the outdoor barn pages, and I just love these. I really like these a lot. So okay, to begin with, I printed some of them in 8x10s, and so they're difficult to scrapbook 8x10s. I usually hate doing them because they take up all the page and you can't make it pretty. But on this one, I did it because I love the photo so much. Anyway, I just triple matted this photo on, I used colors from the photo here. There's a lot of goldy with the light in the photo. So with that and black and brown, I decided. So since it was outdoors and there's kind of reeds over here, I did the image of the reed, and then I did a coordinating paper from that same pad. I love this pad. I picked for the background here, so I have 2 coordinates, and all these papers actually are from the pad. But this is a very special page to me because when I was scrapbooking this page, I was at a retreat and I was doing this bird, and I could not get this bird. I didn't like it with any color combination I was doing. So I had all these papers around me, and this paper was there after I'd cut this out. There was a scrap of it, and I placed it as a layer, and I decided to cut it out as a pattern paper. 1 layer on this bird, and it made all the difference in the world. I fell in love with this bird when I did that. So this is the very first time that I scrapbooked using pattern paper on a layer with a Cricut image, and I fell in love with it, and it changed my scrapbooking forever. I now, from this day on, I would try to do 1 layer in pattern paper in my Cricut images, and I did this afterwards. I guess I was working on this page first, and so I did this layer in the coordinate as well, and what a difference it made on this very simple image. These are both from Art Nouveau, by the way, and this too, I believe. I did the initials for the family on this. So this was a very significant page for me. It changed my scrapbooking forever, and I liked it so much more. It was just so much more elegant. Okay, so that's the story of that page. All right, now they took some pictures outside, and some pictures were right in the barn. So this picture was in the barn. My little granddaughter was, I'm trying to get this straight on here. There. That can't be. I'm going to adjust this a bit. right? Okay. I love this page too. I love doing all of these pages. She is wearing, I don't know if you can see it in this photo, a herringbone brown coat with a little pink hat. Soft, soft pink. So that gave me a color scheme for my barn photo. And so well, there, that's probably better. Sorry. So on this page, I found a herringbone pattern paper that I had in the dark brown. And it had a coordinate, this beautiful print. And this has a bit of fine glitter on it, just a hint. Anyway, I loved it. So I used this for the background, and I picked this for a patch of paper in the middle. I then 1, 2, 3, 4 mats on this photo, and it makes it pop. Because it's a dark background, I put the light. I started with a light, then a dark, then this tone of the pink that I used, and then a light again, so that it would show against the dark background. That's how I think. This is why I'm explaining these things to you. So then I found another coordinate that had this softer brown and this soft pink. So because of the hat. So that just worked for me. So I created a border with the multicolored paper and another one down there on this side. I then thought to myself, oh, I could put another border on top after I did these. But I started to think, they're in a barn. What things would you find in a barn? And so I looked through Cricut Design Space, or I didn't have Design Space then. But I looked through my Cricut cartridges, and I found a wagon, which you would find, and horses, a cart, and another vehicle type thing. These were things you could find in a barn, so that's what I used for my images for this page. And then I shadowed everything. I just did silhouettes of them, and I shadowed everything with a soft, soft pink, like her hat. I did emboss these, the horse and this cart, and this with a wood grain. I embossed them for more detail and a soft, light inking on them too. So that was fun. I love that page because I love my cutie. Okay, so the girls were wearing boots in the barn. So I thought I would do a Cowboy Boots theme because it is a barn, and I found a title, Barnyard Buddies. So I did cowboy boots, and I found a saddle. So I sat that saddle, hooked it over on the top of this photo over here. I found a background in my stash. This was already cut out, and it's flocked, this herringbone, and or houndstooth. That's a houndstooth check. So again, I did this page afterwards, and I used a pattern paper for one of these layers, and I embossed these layers differently, so that all these 3 layers are embossed in different prints. So it gives the images so much more detail. I guess I can lift that so you can see it. Hopefully you can see some of the embossing. So that's a time when my scrapbooking changed, and this is the very beginning. I used a pattern for the center here. I did emboss this boot as well. So just by triple matting this photo, I double matted that one, and then I used some brads here. I used a special tool to put them on, and I used one on the boot as well because it's a masculine look. I put some little photo tabs on here, used some metal, and I found some pitchforks images in Design Space, so I leaned them on all around the page to decorate it. So that was cute. This granddaughter is wearing a purple hat on this page. So I decided to do a page. The others were all brown so far in the earth tones. So I decided to do purple because of her hat. It gave me a theme. So this beautiful paper didn't require much. I just 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, 4 mats, and 3 on this photo. I did a giant butterfly and I put some purple glitter on it, and flourishes and a couple of bugs, a couple of butterflies. And because the paper was so busy, I had a little piece of fence there. Nothing wowy on this page. Okay, so I guess the key hole and key theme was popular when I was doing this page. So I decided to do the key to my heart. I found a title, and I had this key paper. So this tied it all in with the key. So I did a giant gold key here. 2 different backgrounds, and so I used light on this side and darker on this side. I had a metal key as well. I had a couple of them actually, so I did a lock, a couple of locks, keys. This paper had this on it, so I cut this off of another coordinating sheet of paper. And here I shadowed this with the pattern paper, and I love it. It makes all the difference. I did emboss this. That helps too. Lovely page. Now this is the purple again. The purple hat really shows up in this photo. So I'm going, there was a lot of gold in this too, so I went with gold and purple and just used a gold and purple, gold metallic paper actually. So very simple. I just, because this paper was so ornate and there's a metallic gold, I love to emboss metallic papers. So I embossed the title here, Picture Perfect, and I put an owl on a branch up here. Because there's often owls have nests in barns. And then I just added some jewelry to here. So I used a border punch here and here along the this mat. So 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here. 1, 2, 3, 4 layers on this one as well. If you're not using a frame, a fancy frame that's cut out, it's a nice way to create a frame for your pages. Okay, so this was a funny page for the barn. I thought, what would you, I did a barn, a farm, a ranch. I found this image in my cartridges, and I thought it was cute, little lady title. And she's right in the barn in a stall. So I thought I'd just do farm animals. So I did a bull and some cows because this was a cute image. So here I did a fancy frame. And then here I just created one with a border punch to make it a lot wider and to fill up the space on this page. And then on this page, the kids did a costume change and they moved indoors. So they changed into cream. Everyone was in black and cream, I guess, or jeans. So I picked, and I just picked these. I love this paper and I wanted to use it. And because they were in black and white, I thought I can pop with this yellow. So I picked out this paper, and then I just did a wrought iron gate in the middle and tucked the photos on each side. I added big flowers. I guess I was in my flower phase when I did this page. And so I had lots of silk flowers. I layered them and put them on there, embossed this background. And I guess I didn't have as many Cricut cartridges in those days. So I was limited to the types of images, and I used a lot of flowers. This is a punch that I used, and it happened to be the size of the center of the flower, so I added it here and there. And these are just silk flowers in store-boughts. It is pretty anyway. It sure has impact, that page. So, she's on a wooden horse on this page. A wooden rocking horse. Right here. So I went when it's all in the creams and brown tones. So I found this paper in the browns, and then I just cut out some fencing type border and used it all along and in between. And then I did another border back here to have something going on up there, because there was stuff over here and nothing there. I embellished with some gems and a flourish of gems over here. This is a Elegant Edges frame. And then I just put a title on there. This is done on 2 sides with the corner punch and a punch around the page. There are Design Space links for all of these pages if you want to. There's below, there's a link to my website. And you can copy these pages exactly from my links in Design Space. So you should go and have a look at all. I have thousands of pages on my website, so you can go there. All right, so I love this cartridge. It's called Formal Occasions, or yes. And it has the funkiest frames. They're all layered, and you do cut your photos out in the same shape as the frame too. I do, so that it works nicely. I just love these funky frames for children. Then I used I recut the yellow in red and used them around the page here and there. So these kids, the photographer had thrown giant Gerbers around them, and they were holding them. So I had giant Gerber of flower paper, and so I used it. And I just called this Bloom. And used the funky frame and beautiful paper. You don't want to cover it up too much. So I just used a border punch on the picture and a corner punch on that photo there. Simple page. And now this one is the rocking horse. Both kids are on a rocking horse. So I put a title of You Rock My World. You Rock My World. And I thought that was just so cute. So because it was an old wooden rocking horse, and they're in pink and cream clothes, I went old-fashioned, and so I thought this paper was pink and brown, which is what I needed, and so it looked very old-fashioned, gingham and stuff, so that's why I chose the paper. I embossed the background here of the title, and used a patterned paper for one layer. If it's a larger layer, you can use pattern paper, and it looks great. But if it's a very intricate, dainty cut, you have to stick to solids, or it'll look terrible. So on this one, I used a patterned wooden grain. Then I used a pattern paper for the mane and a different pattern for the saddle and the reins. And you can see if you pick not too big a print, it can work. So I just created another oval and a print behind that coordinates, made wide border. So there's my country page. Now this page I love. She was dressed in a black tartan dress. And so I wanted to just do her in pink. I found this paper that was kind of a small print like her dress is, and this was a coordinate in the same pad, and I loved it. So I used the pink for a polka dot for the background, using a pattern paper as a layer on this frame. I did the same thing, background for there. I created a frame here with a coordinate print to this so that I have the same look on both sides. I then I picked Little Miss Muffet title for her because she's just too cute for me, and I just used the image from Little Miss Muffet Nursery Rhymes cartridge right there. There's the spider hanging. Just did a border and punched a border on. Oh no, that's from Cricut. That's a border that matches that. I did that on top of the pink paper over here and there too. I cut a flower, big silk flower in half, and then layered 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of flower here with a jewel in the middle. This is a mirrored heart over here. And I cut this frame out twice. I used one for a back turned sideways for a background and behind, and then I used the regular frame on that. I added some gems in these borders, and that's this page. So, and here's a single page. I did another 8 by 10. So, it's all photo. I just did a small border punch down the one side, and then I did, these I had in my stash. So they're flourishes, they're all like thick like chipboard, and I had a border and I put that in there. They're glittery. So that's my album. So I hope you'll go to my website and you'll see lots more ideas, and please join my Facebook groups. There's a link to those below as well. Thank you for watching.